Welcome to another episode of Truth Bombs and Heart Nudges. Dun, 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 dun. Do you ever have those moments where you're just like, oh, da, 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 da. Anyway, so getting to see the real me here. Anyway, today's Truth Bomb and Heart Nudge is, drumroll please, 284. So this was my 284th written. I had so many before I started writing and tracking them, but this was my 284th journaled down, written down, tracking back, way back, the first year journaling. And it told me, do not be afraid to feel, for emotions can bring great things to pass. What I have learned on my journey into the fullness of love, into learning to love myself, learning to embrace all that I am, learning to step into my purpose, is that we all have emotions. And emotions are not good or bad. But emotions are our guide. For when we feel something, there's a reason that we feel that way. So as I work with clients and we talk about different things that trigger you or different emotions, like you can get overwhelmed with emotions. Sometimes those emotions or those triggers can cause you to go down what I call the rabbit hole. It's like it pulls you from the present moment. Now you're stuck in this deep hole of whatever it is that you're feeling or whatever it is that triggered you. But the most magical thing about your emotions is it's trying to tell you something important. Have you ever had those mornings where you just wake up and you feel sad, or you feel what I call discombobulated, not quite right, something feels off, you're not fully awake, or your brain feels foggy, or you feel this thing that is not this normal feeling? Because if you're living in your purpose and you are embracing all that you are and standing from the fullness of love, you should wake up refreshed and just joyful to be starting another beautiful day. So when you don't wake up that way, those are the moments where you need to stop and say, okay, why do I feel this? Maybe it was a dream that you had and you're still kind of caught up in how that dream made you feel. But again, pay attention to your dreams, because your dreams are also trying to tell you something. Because when you go to sleep and your conscious mind goes to sleep at night, your subconscious basically comes out to play. And so your dreams are trying to tell you things. Your subconscious has to find ways to make itself known to your conscious mind. And so when you are sleeping, basically your subconscious comes out. So sometimes when you wake up, the feelings that you were having from your dream, or maybe something happened yesterday, there is a reason. There's a reason for it. I like to look at life as a giant experiment, you could say. It's not that I'm right or wrong. It's just that I try something, and sometimes the things that I try work out the way I think they are, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes when they don't, it's even better than the way that I envisioned that it would be. Or sometimes it's completely not at all what I wanted, but then I can look at it and go, okay, so I tried that. That didn't work the way I wanted it. That isn't serving me in any way. So I'm not going to do that again. We don't have to go down the rabbit hole of judgment on ourselves, or guilt, or shame, or, oh my gosh, look what you did. See, you're so stupid. That was one of the things I struggle with. Oh my God, you're so stupid. Look what you did now. Look what you did. Now what are you going to do? So you can live your life like that, or you can be like, okay, I've learned to laugh at myself and go, well, that didn't work the way that I thought. I just won't try that again. So I can jot that down as don't do that thing, because that didn't work. So our emotions are trying to tell us something. So if you're feeling sad, take the time out, honor yourself enough to sit down and journal into, what the heck is this emotion trying to tell me? Once you learn to start doing that, that emotion is not going to come back up again, because if you have dealt with what is causing the emotion to come about in the first place, you don't need it. It won't come up anymore because now you have healed that, or you have restructured the thought in your brain, or you've created a whole new pathway. So do not be afraid to feel. But there is a difference between feeling the emotion and being owned by the emotion. So if you're being owned by the emotion, then you're going down that rabbit hole of guilt and shame, and you want to tell everyone about it. And the more you talk about it, the more involved you get into it, because what you focus on now becomes your focus. And so because you're focused on that emotion of whatever that thing is, see how it could just like take on your whole day. It could take down your whole day. And then that same emotion will just show up again tomorrow because you didn't really deal with it. You just whined and cried about it. Yeah, I said it. You whined and cried and moaned. I can say it because I've done it. I did it for decades because I didn't realize that I am the master of my emotions. And my emotions are not the master of me. But I spent decades being mastered by my emotions, by my feelings, by what I felt. But the thing is, we choose. Just like our mind is constantly going, we constantly have thoughts flowing through our head. They are not meant to master us either. You are the master of your mind. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean you have to entertain that thought. You can just be like, yeah, no, boop. One of my favorite things is visualizations. So I've got so many. So sometimes I visualize that I just have a bat and I just hit that ball of whatever it is out of here. Doubt, shame, guilt, whatever. Or sometimes I picture that it's like in a ball and I kick it out of here. Or sometimes I just imagine this big dark hole and I kick it into it and it's gone forever. Like, you don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to sit in it. You don't have to keep it. But if it's something that keeps popping up, there's a reason. That means you need to take the time out and dig into it, journal into it. Journaling is amazing. I'm always going to talk about journaling. This is where all these truth bomb and hard edges are coming from, is because I've been journaling for, I think I'm on 13 years now. Time flies. And yet it doesn't. Time is not linear. That's a whole nother one. But the great thing about that is once you learn to become the master of your emotions and understand that they are just a guide that is trying to teach you something, now you're learning from it. You are growing. You are embracing more of who you are and what your soul is trying to tell you. And when you do that, great things happen, because now you've learned, you've grown, you've morphed more into who you have always been meant to be, because you came here with everything that you need to live your purpose. Everything. So emotions aren't good or bad. They're a guide. Once you learn to open yourself up and not be afraid to dig down in the subconscious and start cleaning some of that up, you can start healing the things that have hurt you. You don't have to hold on to the hurt either. You can literally heal your soul. You can go from a life of hate to a life of love. I know. I did it. Was that journey easy? No. But now I entertain myself with it now. I don't let life tell me how to live. I tell me how to live. I make the decisions. I choose. We're always choosing. Every day we make choices, thousands of choices, without really even thinking about it. And we don't think about the consequences that every choice that we make causes a ripple out into the whole. Every single one. It may not come back and get you today or tomorrow, but it's going to come back, because everything you send out comes back to you. Everything. So think about that. So if you're sending out a bunch of yuck, guess what's coming back? I could go way off track into manifesting and law of attraction and all of that. That's not this episode. This episode is about your emotions, and understand that you are the master of your emotions. Your emotions are here to help you. Start being a little PI, be that little investigator. Step away from it. Look at the bigger picture. What is it trying to tell me? Why do I feel sad every single time I see the color yellow? I'm just throwing something out there. That's not actually one of mine, or I don't think it is. But there's certain things when you get a trigger, when something someone else does triggers you and it causes an emotion to rise up into you, it has nothing to do with them. It has to do with you. Yeah, I said it. It has to do with you. So when that person said something and you're like, oh, can you believe what that person said? They said this, and you're all wound up. They didn't care that they just wound you up. They don't even know that they wound you up unless you get in their face, which is not cool. This has to do with something in you. That trigger has to do with something inside of you. And that trigger will keep triggering you until you say, okay, what the heck is this? Throw it down on a piece of paper. Why? Why is such a powerful tool? Why do I feel this way? Well, because when you were little, someone said this, this, and this to you. Okay, so why did that bother me so much? Because it made you not feel safe. Oh, so now I'm understanding that every time someone says this one thing and it triggers me, it's because I don't feel safe when they say that. So you can go back and say, inner child, I see you when I hear you. And the need that you didn't have met back then, I can meet it now. It is no one else's job to meet our needs now. You're an adult. Meet your own needs. Your emotions are trying to tell you that their need not being met, so therefore you can meet that need. You have the power to do that. You don't have to wait for anyone. Although how awesome would it be? How do I say I need someone to come take care of me? How great would that be? I want a chef and a housekeeper and I wouldn't even mind having a chauffeur so I can do things and while they drive, and I could go all over the place. But do I need that? No, I can do all of those things on my own. So do not be afraid to feel, for emotions can bring great things to pass. They're trying to tell you something. You are your own guide. How crazy is that? You have everything inside of you. You are your own guide. Start listening to yourself. You are connected to the one who created all. Therefore, you have all the answers in you. Start listening to yourself. Start understanding how important your emotions are to you, to your life, to where you're going, or where you need to go. Become the master of your emotions. Become the master of your thoughts. Become the master of your life. This is your life. This is your story. Be a contributing factor to what's going on in your life instead of just a stand-byer. You're not innocent stand-byer in your own life. No, take some ownership. Take it back. It's yours. If you want magic in your life, then create magic. I'm not talking witchcraft or anything like that. I'm talking spills. No spills, no spells, nothing like that. But take ownership. Take ownership of your feelings. Why do you feel that way? So that's it today. I think that's enough. Let's start paying attention to what you're feeling and why you're feeling it and why your feelings are important. Because they are. There's a reason for them. There's a reason for you. There's a reason for everything. It's just a matter of paying attention. So do not be afraid to feel. For emotions can bring great things to you, to life, to others. Step in. Step all in. There's never going to be another you. There never was. There never will be. Be you. That's the beauty of you, is there isn't ever going to be another one of you. That's the magic of you. Don't stop being you. Don't let anyone stop you from being you. And if you're not quite sure who you are, then start listening to yourself. It's time.